The Right Side with Doug Billings.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to The Right Side with Doug Billings. Thanks very much for joining me across the world and around the planet. I appreciate you very much. Coming to you from smack dab in the middle of the fruited plain of the United States of America. Ladies and gentlemen, around the world, glad tidings of joy as Advent season is upon us, and the advent of the Trump effect is obvious in the wake of elections happening in countries that have been plagued by liberal woke radicalism. There is a relief coming, and it's obvious. We're going to talk about it. The Trump effect. The Trump effect is a real phenomenon whereby people from all walks of life, from civilians to politicians to law enforcement officers, military personnel, teachers, doctors, lawyers, men and women who have obtained intellectual maturity, naturally born men and women everywhere, every demographic affected by the Trump effect. And it's a good thing. The Trump effect, when you summarize it, really is patriotism. The Trump effect is nationalism. It's the desire to see your country be made great and to be put first. And not just in America, ladies and gentlemen. Around the planet, every person in every country has, I think, the God-given right to make sure that they put their country first. And that is the Trump effect. It's based in the belief in God that our rights come from him. The Trump effect is holding accountable people in positions of power, especially in elected power. It's about pride, but in a humble way, not an overbearing or boastful way. The Trump effect is not politically correct. The Trump effect is able to call out BS when it sees it. The Trump effect casts out radical left woke ideologies. The Trump effect is pro-life. The Trump effect is a return to traditional moral values in families and in relationships. The Trump effect is sweeping the planet, folks. And the people around the world are the inspiration for most of this. We have in our midst at least 3 or 4 right now places on earth where elections have been held, and the people within these countries have cast out the radical woke liberalism that they see. They're saying, no, thank you, not here, not on our watch, not in our country. So while we still are in the nightmare, we still have chaos around us. It is good every once in a while, and I try to be as hopeful as I can, but hope based in fact, hope based in reality is where we always come from on this program. I want to outline for you a few places and people around the earth where this is happening, where the Trump effect is taking root. And we know that it's taking root in these places because we can see results, specifically in elections that are being held. The first place I want to look at with you is the Netherlands. There is a gentleman there by the name of Geert Wilder, spelled like we would in America pronounce Wilder, but it's Wilder. Geert Wilder. He's the new president of the Netherlands. And by the way, look, I'm going to put a picture up on the screen. Looks a lot like Jimmy Page from Led Zeppelin, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, snatched at birth, missing twin. What is this? I mean, look at that. It's actually an astonishing resemblance, I think. Geert and Jimmy. But more importantly, Geert Wilder, in all of his beliefs beyond just the political arena, he's a Christian. He's a Christian conservative who aligns with the approach, the platform, and the policy of Donald Trump, the Trump effect. He's a member of the Dutch Freedom Party. One of the key campaign platforms of his was immigration in the Netherlands. He's anti-Muslim. He's not afraid to say that out loud, and he believes that Islam is incompatible with Dutch Christian identity. He believes that Muslims and others, but primarily Muslims, when they illegally immigrate or even when they legally immigrate, capture the national identity of countries that they inhabit. And he's not going to have that in the Netherlands. I tend to believe Geert on this one, Mr. Wilder. They are the Muslims are kind of like that horde that come in, take over bit by bit, and before you know it, national identity is erased. That is not a racist statement. It's a matter of observing factual evidence based in reality. Look at Europe, specifically, look at Germany. Germany has a huge identity problem, a national crisis. Their national identity is being erased by the Muslim community because of their, I think, very faulty their frail, faulty, and ineffective immigration policies. But Geert Wilder believes that they should not be any immigration anymore into the Netherlands until they get a grip on what the current situation is. They can't afford to have their national identity erased, and he's prepared to say no to all immigration, no to asylum seekers, no one allowed in at all. And he's a supporter, if you may recall, a couple of years ago, the Dutch farmers who rose up in protest. The previous Dutch leadership, wow, you talk about nut jobs, right? The kooks of the kooks. They were moving tyrannical legislation against these farmers and the Dutch agricultural industry as a whole. And it's not a very well-known fact, ladies and gentlemen, and you may not know this, but the Netherlands is the second largest agricultural exporter in the world. And since Europe has this whack job kook environmentalist movement and members of it who get triggered over cow flatulence, this presents the Green Party over there and all of its affiliates with a problem. Because the farmers are now up against the government. You've got Geert Wilder up. He's partnering with the farmers. The Dutch the parliament, just to give you a short history lesson, what they did, they went to The Hague, which is their parliament, and they put in place legislation that called for a radical 30% reduction in livestock. Now, if you're from Raytown, Missouri, that means horses, cows, and sheep, ladies and gentlemen. 30% reduction in livestock. Well, the farmers would have none of that. They organized, they stormed the Dutch Senate, they demanded that all this kind of nonsense be revoked and that the dignity of farming be restored. And the farmers won, ladies and gentlemen. And now with Geert Wilder in the House, having just won the presidency, it's clear that the Netherlands are shedding their liberal, tyrannical government away from them. And it's a good thing. It's a very good thing to see. So have hope out there. Other places in the world, this rise of the Trump effect and conservative moral values is prevailing.
The Right Side with Doug Billings.